more of a mid-range disruptive kind of white aggro deck without the same um, inevitability, but it still has that same grindiness.
Okay. Cory playing Death and Taxes lost the die roll, giving Steven Fierro the first chance to make his move.
Yeah, and he's deciding what he wants to fetch right here. Um, the It's interesting that you run a basic swamp in this list, but no basic island. So it shows you his color concerns, and he does end up going for that basic swamp right here. So he's looking to cast some dark rituals, probably. We'll see if he tries to kill his opponent on turn one. Maybe make a bunch of goblins. We'll see what's up.
He has Empty the Warrens in hand. He might. He's
turn one duress.
The turn one duress is always good.
So this is going to find that Aether Vial. Swords to Plowshares does not really do much against him. And it was good on Steven to fetch up the swamp as he reveals a wasteland.
So, as you mentioned, Tess wants to combo on turns 1, 2, or 3.
Yeah.
Because it just doesn't have the staying power that Ad Nauseam Tendril Storm does. Firing off turn 1 Duress, as I mentioned, is very good because you get to see your opponent's hand, but also strip them of any possibilities of or any -1 draw turn, any possibilities of trying to get them to interrupt you. Now, he is playing Death and Taxes, so most of the problems he's going to have to deal with are permanent-based creatures.
Yeah.
That, the Death and Taxes player is actually not even going to get out on turn 2, so
Steven's in a bit of a bind right here. He cannot cast this Ponder, and he cannot cast this Empty the Warrens. And the rest of his hand is Infernal Tutor, Dark Ritual. So that is not doing a whole lot right now.
Steven just passed.
I don't see any way for him to have chained that well. So he just has to hope for a Mana Source off the top.
Batterskull coming pre-equipped to Stoneforge this time.
And Batterskull is one of the quickest ways that Death and Taxes has to close out the game. So this is a real threat.
However, Steven just drew a Gitaxian probe, and we may, there's still hope for him to kill him this turn.
Yeah, and it's interesting because he could actually.
Oh, he's doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say this. He could.
He's Cabal Therapying.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was going to Dark Ritual
because of the Batterskull.
Right.
So, seeing a pretty dead hand here. Except this Ridgeton Port is going to come online for Cory and start making Steven's day really difficult. But the good news is, on Steven's side, he doesn't have that much of a clock to face down. Oh, but that Jite is going to do some work.
Cory top-decking Jite is just insult to injury.
Yeah.
Because he can sneak it into play with Stoneforge at any given time and really start taking over this game. He's going to win with creatures. That's how Death and Taxes ultimately does. But now he has to decide. Oh, nope, just attacking.
Yeah, because he's going to port him down this turn.
Cory feeling no rush.
Yeah, no rush at all
to get his game plan on.
Oh, interesting.
Sorry, take it back.
Interesting.
He's giving Steven a chance.
So this is Steven's window. He has to do this now, but with that Lotus Petal draw, I think that he can do. At least a bunch. He should be able to make a few goblins. I'd be interested to see whether or not he tries to Infernal Tutor something that's already in his hand. Because he does have 2 Infernal Tutors, I believe. He will have to use one of them.
Cory equipping the Jitse to Stoneforge next turn and going in is a decent plan to go against the goblins. However, against Tess, I'd never risk anything.
Yeah.
Tess is going to just vomit everything it has onto the field.
I actually would have ported him down this turn and held that open.
I mean, Cory is showing a wasteland.
Steven, I believe, drew another Dark Ritual, so that's going to be very good for him. I don't think he will be able to Tendrils this turn, unless he gets lucky off of a Ponder. But he should be able to empty for a good number of goblins.
Is that good enough?
And
Wait, wow,
Steven doesn't think
he
so.
passes.
So he just passes back. And it's interesting here because he's opening himself up to this Rishton port, but he's relying on Lotus Petal to get him through.
It's a bold move, Cotton.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out. And Cory tapping down the Rishton port anyway. Just does not care about taking his mana away from him, which
Wow.
I think is a big mistake.
This is Steven just opening doors that should be locked.
Yeah.
But you know what? Maybe this is what it takes. All right, here we go. We're gonna see a
Ponder. That's what we need to start off with.
Storm count
There's
1.
the Ad Nauseam and the LED, so this is definitely going to be game.
Does he have the Burning Wish to go find the tendrils?
No, but he has a
tutor.
Tutor, yeah, to find
So
it.
what it- he's
Or he
got-
could just end up Ad Nauseaming here. I would probably just draw the Ad Nauseam and then play it with off of double Ritual and keep all the rest in hand, and then see what you get off the Ad Nauseam.
That's exactly what he's gonna do. Storm count 2.
3, and then 4,
Sorry, 3 now.
and then 4. So he is at 15, and he has the empty in hand. So he is drawing super live. His average card cost is almost less than 1 at this point.
There's the Burning Wish. He's got no problems finding
So
what he
1,
needs.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 damage. So he stopped with a possible 2 that was going to kill him. That last brainstorm was absolutely safe. There was no chance that he was going to die after that. And he just takes his beatings, goes down to 2, and I think this will quickly pass into a game 2. So that is Storm of 5, 6, and there is just a number of ways that Steven can go from here. I think it's very difficult to screw up at this point.
Oh no, it's totally easy.
I guess it is.
He
Just play the LED and crack it, right? That's all you
that
need to
is
do.
100% way to assure yourself you're not going anywhere. So he's counting Storm, which he should have been doing a long time ago. I always feel like as somebody who's playing against Storm or playing with Storm, your Storm count should be something that is constantly active and never like retro counted, because it is
and mistakes happen, and it's better for both players to just have the open information.
keeping all of your mana and your Storm count and everything else that goes with this technically oriented deck is very important. So if you are thinking of picking up Tess or any other kind of Storm variant, you got to make sure that you have the ability to keep track of everything in a way that is very concise and very clear, because a lot of your opponents that you might play against are not going to feel the same way.
And so here he plays this Cabal Ritual, just making more mana than he can possibly use. He might even be considering trying to kill him with Grape Shot. I don't even know if he has that in his board, but that was what we used to do for fun when you have this much Storm possibility. He does not have the Grape Shot to go find, which is sad, because I would have liked to see that. But he is going to be able to kill his opponent very easily, and just with a Burning Wish here and crack LED in response. I mean, not even no need to go for this Empty the Warrens, but he's going to do it anyway.
Empty for a few
So this is
goblins.
empty for 22 goblins, or
Hey,
24 goblins.
He's got the surprise Bushwhacker kicked. Don't worry.
Wow, that's
Don't worry.
impressive.
Don't worry. It'll beat the Jitte. For those of you who want to learn a little bit of the meaning of some of these cards, Ad Nauseam is actually a Latin term for doing something over and over and over again that it becomes annoying or tiresome.
Yeah.
So
he drew so many cards that he actually got tired of it. That's what he's trying to tell his opponent right there.
that's right. And ultimately, through a greater metaphor, asking him if he's tired of playing against Storm.
Yes. And I think a lot of people are, because there's the tendrils for a very lethal amount of Storm. The Empty the Warrens was just a kicker on top, just icing on the cake. Had everything, had all these, still had all these cards in hand too.
At a certain point, when you play the degenerate combo deck that just lets you play out your entire deck, including Modern Storm, I've done this before a lot of times, where you just kind of manipulate. You're manipulating spells. You're just basically in charge of the game, and your opponent has to just sit there and lividly experience it.
Yeah.
Um, if I would also say, being on the opposite side of the table, if you have a problem playing against a deck that's solitaire, you either A, aren't mentally prepared for the format, or B, aren't or you don't have the answers that you needed to beat it anyways, and they had a better deck choice than you, ultimately speaking, coming into the event and beating you with it.
So there's a few interesting options here in the boards. Steven, I believe, is going to be bringing in one Massacre and one Dark Petition to help find that Massacre. Maybe even a few Abrupt Decays, as well as the Bayou that is in his sideboard.
He's definitely bringing in the Abrupt Decays, but I think he leaves the Massacre in the board, right?
It's an instant.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay, so never mind. He's 100% bringing in the Massacre. Massacre is one of the most insane blowout cards against white.
Yeah.
Massacre says if you have a swamp and they have a plains, you can cast it for free. The effect being all creatures get -2/-2.
So it's an infest that is just totally free, which is quite excellent, especially against Death and Taxes. It's very overwhelming because it even kills Phyrexian Revoker, which is something that Dread of Night does not do.
All permanent, if I'm not mistaken, that card answers every single piece of hate that Cory's trying to bring in.
So Cory is going to be bringing in some Aethersworn Canonists, a pair of Aethersworn Canonists, and maybe even...
two Rest in Peace, Grafdigger's Cage.
So those are actually much better against Ad Nauseam Tendrils than they are against Tess. Tess tries to play much more on the stack. So it's going to be interesting to see if Cory brings them in or not, because I don't think that they're actually that effective.
Okay,
you do have a Past in Flames that you can wish for out of Tess, but in general you're just trying to make a bunch of goblins and kill them.
Does Cory have... I mean, if he's going to try to win with the creature plan, Cory does have some battle back with Batterskull.
Yeah, the other super kicker that Cory gets to bring in is a Cataclysm, which hopefully destroys many lands. Many lands. I would love to see that.
For those of you who don't know what Cataclysm is, it's one of those really old school cards that R&D was just not thinking when they printed it.
Not at all.
It's 2 and 2 white for sorcery that says everybody sacrifices one of everything except Planeswalkers. Is that right?
Or everyone sacrifices down to one of everything except for Planeswalkers.
Right.
And I don't think enchantments is listed on that either.
Right. No enchantments, no walkers, but lands, artifact, creatures.
Yeah.
Just those 3?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you get to keep one land, one artifact, and one creature.
And then everything else is destroyed. So it's a very good answer to Empty the Warrens, which I don't think Cory has otherwise. He would just have to try and race it with something like Umezawa's Chite.
Does Steven bring in the Shattering Spree?
He could. I would probably leave it because it's a Burning Wish target. So options, I would say that the Abrupt Decays and the Massacre are definitely coming in.
And the Thoughtseals. Or Thoughtseize.
Thoughtseize, probably too, yeah.
On the draw, I think you kind of have to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Thoughtseize being in your opener is going to be very clutch, stealing that Dahlia, or potentially Stoneforge. What else? Oh, Aethersworn Canonist you're going to want.
Aethersworn Canonist you can hit. Thalia is a great one to hit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Cory's going to try to... I hope Cory plays a little more respectfully towards Tess's ability to just completely combo you out. The fact that... Okay, for those of you who are first starting to play Legacy or experiencing the degeneracy of Tess, the deck does not require many lands to go off. If it's stuck on one land, it can kill you the next turn. That's not where the deck is strong. The deck is strong in how many cards it has in its hand.
A lot of the time. But sometimes, if you take away their starting mana sources, you can head them off that way. Because if they don't have any lands to tap, they have to rely on Lotus Petal, or else they actually just can't start the chain.
Right. If you want a quick crash course in Storm, the deck is made up of 3 major parts: mana, draw, and
conditions.
Kill conditions.
Yeah.
Or degenerate engines. That's how I used to
Yeah.
like to call them.
Burning Wish and Infernal Tutor being degenerate engines.
Right.
In this case.
For the Legacy event, yeah. Those are the cards that fulfill those categories. So
Steven's got a great hand, possibly turn 1.
The deck sits on these 3 pillars. If you can kick one of the legs out, it can never work.
So Cory did bring in the Rest in Peace. He has one in hand.
But you're going to say that
otherwise it's actually not a very good keep from his part because and then he's going to send it back. That was his only piece of hate plus a Rishden port, and that was probably not going to cut it. Rest in Peace is kind of is really not that great against Tess. It does shut off Rite of Flame is the one thing that it says. Your Rite of Flames don't make more than 2 mana, which is pretty sad.
Who cares? The card's absurd. Rite of Flame should never have been printed to begin with.
It was great.
Oh yeah,
Great
it was
card.
super absurd. Just like when Seething Song was in Modern. I really miss that.
Oh, we all missed that. So this is another unkeepable hand for Cory.
Yeah.
I'm really got nothing going on here.
No Thalias, no Revokers, no nothing. Cory's keeping? Did he look like he keep? He's got Sword.
Is that
Port?
a Wiltleaf Leech in the middle?
Wow, you brought in Wiltleaf Leech? Why?
I don't know.
The coolest thing I've ever seen Wiltleaf Leech do is opponent cast it against the Death and Taxes, or cast a Thoughtseize against a Death and Taxes player.
Oh, and just took it?
And that that Death and Taxes player filed in every other creature but Wiltleaf Leech.
Great play. Great play. So that is forcing them to take the Wiltleaf Leech, and Wiltleaf Leech does say whenever it is forced to be discarded, you just get to put it into play.
All right, Cory keeps his 5. He does have a Stoneforge, a Wasteland, a Plains, and a Vial. Looks like a pretty standard, no sideboard tech sort of hand. I don't know what that middle card is.
Yeah, I can't tell either.
Okay, it's
a
Mother
it's
of
a
Runes.
Leonin Relic Order. Interesting. Oh no, it's a Mother of
Mother
Runes.
of
That
Runes.
is a different art. I
Yep.
see.
It's a Mother from the
So
dual
yeah,
decks.
Cory forced to keep a suboptimal hand here, but he was on a mold of 5, and we'll see what Steven draws and if he's just dead. I believe that Steven should just make a bunch of goblins right now. If I
he
remember
can.
his hand correctly, he has the capability of doing that.
Wow, Steven's hand is loaded.
Yeah.
Playing Misty Rainforest is not actually there for anything other than fetching a blue land. I don't think he plays any green.
Oh no, of course not.
So it's funny because that is not an expensive dual land for blue, but he has it. So, crack him if you got him.
Yep, crack him if you got him. So right now, I would expect to see a volcanic island from this Misty Rainforest, and then let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14 goblins, I think, if my math is correct.
14 goblins turn 2 versus a Stoneforge
Oh no,
and
it's
Mom.
turn 1, even better.
Oh, sorry. Well, yes, turn 1 for him, turn 2 for the game. That's right. 14 goblins turn 1, does it do it? Or is Steven going to play that conservative?
Unless my math is wrong and he is off a couple of mana, because he seems to be thinking pretty hard about this.
Yeah. Yeah, I honestly have a hard time fully understanding what goes through a Tessa's player because I haven't actually played it in Legacy. I just see them sweating all the time across from me.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's a very difficult deck to play. It's a little bit harder to play, in my opinion, than Ant, because you have to know when goblins are just going to be good enough. And Ant, you generally just kill them with Tendrils and Storm of 10. And you have a few different lines in Tess because of the Burning Wish package. So you can...
He's got double Burning Wish in hand,
yeah.
right? So what does he get with that?
I don't know that he even casts them.
He's... Okay, again, not keeping track of Storm immediately is important. He's...
So,
all right, so he's
now
got...
we're on 4 red and 3 Storm.
Yes. No, to correct the Twitch chat, it stands for the Epic Storm. There's the Perfect Storm, which also exists in Vintage, and then the
Yes.
Janky Storm, which is modern.
So it all started with the Perfect Storm, which was in Vintage, and then Legacy players decided that they love names, so they were going to call theirs the Epic Storm, because they have to be different names, of course, or else what's the point of playing Magic?
Right.
And
And
then there were even more offshoots: Fetchlands Tendril Storm. You got Doomsday Storm. You've got all of these in-betweeners, and then Ad Nauseam came out, and everything kind of was the same as
Okay,
it.
this is interesting.
He's going for Past in Flames here. So he might have.
He's cracked. He
kill.
played. He played Burning Wish, cracked LED on the stack, and now he gets to tutor his entire sideboard for any sorcery he wants. It's going to be Past in Flames. So maybe Cory wasn't wrong in bringing in the Rest in Pieces.
Oh yeah, it's very easy to play around when it's in play, but it looks like it does. It shuts them off of a vital resource, but it's actually just an ancillary resource to what Tess really wants to do, which is play off the stack and play off their hand. So this is going to be a bunch of goblins, I believe.
4 mana off of 2 rituals twice.
Yeah, there's no way to get double black off of this.
He could.
He could get Taxi and Probe into another Lotus Petal. But
and Cory just scoops it up after
goblins are going to be good enough, I believe.
20 goblins hit the field.
Yeah. So,
unfortunately, that's not good enough.